This is session number 17, and I'm joined by Aki Saito and Mrs. Ayako Tateyama. You guys want to introduce yourselves and explain to the listeners who you are?
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I was falling asleep.
If my intro is that boring?
No. I'm kidding. No, it's a pleasure to be here. I'm Aki Saito, working at the European Business Department, along with my manager, Ayako. She manages me all the time, and we work on Kojima Productions projects, which is very exciting and very busy, and get called at the end of the day to do some recording sessions. But that's fine. I mean, it's okay. We're gonna go out drinking tonight, so we gotta clear up, and we gotta start the show.
Well, you don't only do Kojima Productions related work.
No, actually, we do all the titles that we bring out in Europe, but Ayako mainly looks after Kojima Productions because that productions need concentration. So she's brilliant, and she's a good coordinator, so she does all the coordinations.
But she doesn't talk much.
Well, she's kind of shy, and I'm really kind of frightened to look at her. But she, is really... Say something.
Say something.
Oh, that was 2 kicks.
Yeah, she's very feisty. But you also, your main title is not Metal Gear. Like, she focuses on Metal Gear, but Aki, you focus on Winning 11, Pro Evolution Soccer.
Yeah, well, I used to. Now that's 2 other staffs, actually, doing it. Because I'm kind of busy trying not to do so much work these days. And that's really busy, keeping me busy to avoid work.
Right, that keeps you busy.
Yeah, that's the hardest part in a company. But, I used to do Pro Evolution Soccer. I still do.
Yeah, your heart is still in Pro Evolution Soccer.
Yeah, because, because I love football. European football.
Oh, you mean not, American football, the pigskin?
No. The, how should I say? European football?
European football?
Yeah. It's...
So you must be excited for that, I'm American. You're excited for, what's it called, the World Cup? That's next year, right?
Yeah, it's this year. Yeah, it's in South America this year.
That's what I heard, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that's
Where is it next year? Where are you guys holding it next year?
Oh, next year, I think it's going to be in China.
That's right.
Yeah.
I always forget the lineup. Every year I forget where the stupid World Cup thing is.
Right. It's only once every 4 years.
Oh.
Yeah, so it's not like the World Series that you have.
Oh, I always get those things mixed up.
Okay, but anyways, we're going to have this World Cup in Germany.
Are you excited?
Yeah, we're all excited. I mean, as a company, Winning 11 in Japan, Pro Evolution in Europe, it boosts up every 4 years, and it's going to be really, really good. Since Japan and U.S. And all the European countries, the major, are attending this World Cup. They qualified, which never happened, actually, because every year, every 4 years, there's always been a big upset, like the Netherlands not making it, or Japan not making it, or something like that. So this year, it's going to be 32 teams with all the teams that you expect.
Cool.
And actually, maybe you don't know, but the U.S. team is really, really strong.
Yeah, I kind of joke around how, what's the World Cup, all that kind of stuff. But, I do try to follow a little bit, and I do know that the U.S. team is actually very strong.
Yeah,
it just lacks the support from the homeland,
Yeah, I mean, Mr. Bush should, send lots of supporters to Germany. I mean, they're really, really strong. They're going to go to the last, what do you call it, the tournament, the final tournament station.
Right.
They're probably going to make it. So
that's cool. That's very exciting. So I'll be watching it along with all you guys in Japan. Well, this is the Kojima Productions Report, not the Winning 11 Report. So I have to be careful because I know, most of our listeners out there are Metal Gear fans. So if you don't mind, let's shift the conversation a little bit away from soccer. But
no, actually, don't get us wrong. We love all the works that HIDECHAN does, and we really respect them. That's why we're on the show,
right?
And it's really fun. It's really fascinating. When is this going to be?
After E3.
Oh, so everyone knows what happened at E3.
Exactly.
Then they're really, really listening to this.
Exactly.
Probably.
This is going to be a lot of listeners. And we announced the title that you and I are going to be working on, Lunar Nights.
Yeah?
We're going to be announcing it. We announced that at E3, although we're recording the show before E3. Yeah, we announced Lunar Nights, very exciting title. It's going to be big in North America and Europe, I think. And also, so listeners know that you are the translator, the main translator for Mr. Kojima now.
Right. Okay. That's kind of honorable.
Since what, a year ago? You think?
Yeah, I think. Yeah, about a year ago, I think.
So how is it translating for him? Is it difficult compared to other people, or is there something unique about the way he speaks in Japanese?
No, actually, before I started to do translations for him, I heard some rumors that he sometimes is like difficult in mood and that kind of thing because he's so busy. But doing how many times I did so far, like 50 or 100 or something, he never ever, had this bad mood.
Right, being irritable or...
Yeah, he's really, really, he's really happy these days over the past couple of years. This is because it's not the crunch time yet, I think. So by next E3 or something near that, I think that it could be times where he could be not in the mood and, he's awfully busy already.
Right.
But I try to cheer him up. And what I try to do is I, go out to lunch with him or maybe go out drinking with him and try to get to know him a little bit more. And the more Kojima, the easier that I could translate. And... well, it's really fun because I love the game and I love the how he is thinking towards games. So we kind of work out the answers with him at times when there's difficult questions.
Right. And there are difficult questions. The Metal Gear world is so deep. It's like, how do you keep up sometimes when you're talking about genome soldiers and cloning and all that?
Yeah, I think when those kind of very, deep questions are asked, I think Kojima deliberately tries not to go into deep answers. And he wants to express, something behind that, details.
Right.
I kind of I got that message about a year ago. So he's not really into explaining all the small details. He's more trying to explain his thinking. And, especially this year. All the trends, the new next generation hardware and that kind of thing, and where's game going to go. And he's trying to kind of hint everyone what he's thinking. So nothing really super difficult, except when it's like end of the day, you've done your 5-6 hours translating, and he gets tired of talking, and I get tired of thinking in Japanese and English.
Right.
So.
I understand that, definitely. I was in Australia recently on a trip with Mr. Okamura, the producer of MPO, and I translated for him for, I think, 8 hours straight.
Yeah.
And by the 7th hour, I wasn't really conscious of what people were saying. I was just kind of a robot. It was just going into one ear, and I was, English was coming out, and then vice versa.
Ryan, did you know that, when we had this meeting back like 5-6 years ago, this big Konami meeting, there was professional translators sitting in for the first time for these meetings. And there was this one lady and one guy, and they were switching, translating every 30 minutes.
Okay.
And I asked them, and they said, no, 30 minutes is the limit. So they take breaks.
Okay.
And they take 30 minutes in turn and do it. That's how, real professional translators
to keep it fresh and keep their mind.
Yeah, they drink
clear.
water and they think nothing, they think blank and that kind of thing. But
so what you're saying is at E3, GC show, TGS, we're kind of like sweatshop laborers. You and I.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah. No, not just you and I. I mean, everyone in Konami. This is what I want to explain. I mean, working in a company, they kind of tear you apart. They expect 100%.
Well, the funny thing is it's not just Konami. It's all game companies. You see the same guy translating for the same game developer, for Capcom or whatever maker.
Yeah. So, we're kind of in a difficult position.
Yeah,
but
we're stuck.
Yeah, but we're still having fun.
Yeah, we are.
Because we love games and, we like to be with the trend of games. And it's, everyone that's listening today is really wanting to know what's happening, what will happen. And while we're translating, we share that same feeling, don't we? I mean,
of course. Sometimes there's a new answer or a new question that we've never heard before.
Yeah.
And we want to hear, the game creator's answer as well.
Mm-hmm.
That's always exciting. But I have a really just out of the blue question for you that I was kind of curious. Has there ever been some like reporters that came in that was just an absolute like mess, just disaster interview in your experience that you can remember off the top of your head?
Actually, no.
Really?
Because they're usually all prepared. When I did personal experience for like soccer games, they always compare with us and the big competitors.
Right.
Yeah. So, but they always say, "Oh, sorry that I have to mention this about your big competitor, but what do you think about their game?" And but it's nothing rude. I mean, I think it's very natural.
Cool. No nightmare experiences where the guy that was being interviewed got upset or anything like that.
No, nothing like that. Well, I think you had the experience as well. But the third day at E3, first thing in the morning,
right?
80% don't show up,
right?
And then we feel lucky because we don't have to work. But sometimes the guys who are waiting might get little. They woke up early as well,
right?
And
I understand.
But I could understand because there's always a big party, before that night. And everyone stays up like 2 or 3.
Right.
So, I could understand.
Or it's not just parties, but writers, they go back to their hotel rooms and they start writing.
Yeah, exactly.
And I've been in those people's shoes, even just last year.
Right. Well, there was one time this guy came in and was kind of like, you could smell that he's really drunk.
Yeah.
But it wasn't really rude.
Right.
I think we smelled, very bad as well. But it's more funny experience.
Sure. People are kind of loosened up and
yeah. It's third day of the show. Everyone's relaxed, so no hard experience.
Yeah, it's kind of like you and Ayako in the mornings. I noticed here at the company.
Yeah, well,
you guys are always coming in from a late night of drinking.
Not always.
Not always. Yeah, I exaggerate. Not always. A couple
once
times
a week.
Yeah.
Once in a week.
Yeah, once a week. Last week, I mean, we.
Oh, last week.
Last week was awful. We stayed up
3 in the morning.
Yeah, 3 in the morning. So
on Tuesday night.
No kidding. That's crazy. Was it in Roppongi?
Yeah. We love Roppongi.
You guys are party animals.
Well, we just drink and talk, and then we end up in a darts bar.
Right.
And we do darts, and there's like this.
But you never end up calling me at 3 a.m. Say, hey, let's hang out. Because I'm in Roppongi always. Did you know that?
No, you're drinking.
No, I live here.
Really?
Yeah.
He's using this HIDECHAN radio to show off how...
I'm not. No. Why do people have this image that Roppongi is so glamorous?
Because Roppongi is one of the most expensive places to live in Tokyo.
Well, that might explain why I'm paying a normal amount of rent for about half the size of a normal apartment. But I don't need much space.
But space, by your standards, is probably about my living room, isn't it?
It's 20 square
Well, it's
meters.
bigger than my living room.
It is?
Yeah.
I mean, it's about the size of this recording studio, which isn't very big, but 20 square meters.
Okay. Another question is, do you own a car?
No.
Oh, okay. That's good.
I don't own anything.
Because if you own a car and live in Roppongi, I mean, like, we're going to just go out of the studio.
Right.
I mean, we're not supposed to talk to each other. You're super rich.
No refrigerator, no microwave. My TV sits on top of a cardboard box. So I'm making some sacrifices to live close to the company.
Oh, that's why you sometimes go back and forth from the office to your... Oh,
wow.
That makes sense.
Very dedicated.
Well, there's a lot of stuff to do.
Worker.
But yeah, call me up anytime. We'll go play darts. So we don't want to keep the listeners waiting too long because we have this special interview with Mr. Masahiro Sakurai.
Oh, I'm a great fan of Mr. Sakurai, actually.
He has quite the catalog of hits that he's made over the years. He's done a lot of Kirby titles.
Yes.
Smash Brothers, Super Smash Brothers, one of the best-selling games of all time.
Mm-hmm.
Best-selling game on GameCube. Mm-hmm. And Meteos for Nintendo DS. I mean, he's all over the place. And just the recently announced Revolution Super Smash Brothers. So, yeah, we're very lucky to have him in the studio.
Okay.
And very lucky to have you, Mr. Saito, to come in and record his voiceover.
Yeah, I met him a couple of times.
Yeah, he's a nice guy.
Yeah.
And very well-spoken.
Oh, really? Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. Let's give it a try then.
Okay, cool. Well, I'm here with a special guest today. It's Mr. Sakurai from his own independent studio, but he's working with Nintendo on a very special project, which they announced at E3. And he's joining us in the studio today. He made a visit to Mr. Kojima, and they had a good talk over on the Japanese side at HIDECHAN. And Mr. Sakurai took a look at our new trailer, MGS4 trailer. So I'm going to go into Japanese right now. We're going to put the English overdubs over. So yeah, let's go into Japanese, and I'll ask Mr. Sakurai a few questions. So じゃあ日本語に入りましょう。
はい。
You have a new game that you're announcing at E3, a new Smash Brothers game, and you have another announcement that there's a brand new character joining the Smash Brothers ensemble of crazy characters, and that is Snake from the Metal Gear Solid series.
そうですね。
The story began when Kojima asked me if Snake could appear in, Smash Brothers. Since I, left the company, I never thought that I was going to make another Smash Brothers at that time. But then, things changed, and, Mr. Iwata of Nintendo kind of asked me to create the next Smash Brothers. And I said, yeah, that's fine. And then I remember that Mr. Kojima asked me if Snake could, appear. And then I thought, wow, okay, this is a good chance. Maybe I should just ask again to Mr. Kojima. And that's how this whole story began.
So tell me the truth, Mr. Sakurai, is Snake can be really powerful this time around?
いやー強いでしょう。
Yeah, Snake is going to be a very strong character because, the image of, Snake in the first place, he's not the kind of character that flies around in the air, is he? So I am thinking of making Snake, use guns and special weapons and bombs and that kind of thing, but he will be strong.
Well, you kind of hinted at this previously, but can you explain to the listeners what it's like to be a freelance game designer compared to in-house game designer?
ああやっぱり自由なのはいいですね。
Well, freedom is really great. I enjoy this freedom of the situation I'm in right now. When you work in a company, when you create like Kirby, there's going to be something after Kirby. When you create Smash Brothers, there's always going to be something lined up. The next Smash Brothers or whatever. And then you have to work with the same staff or the staffs that new staffs, but the staffs that you haven't picked or something. Meaning it goes into this bad spiral of just doing work. But being a total freelance is that of course you end up with the responsibility. So you have to select who you work with, all the people, and what you want to work with. But I really enjoy this freedom, actually.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. But on the other hand, there must be some advantages to always staying in the same studio with the same team. For example, who is very good at their job, or who's kind of a troublesome coworker. And when you enter that new team, do you find that it takes a little while to find out, who's really capable and who's like one of those troublemakers? Can you explain a little bit about that?
Yes, there are points that you said actually. When you're free, when you're doing work for free, freelance, you have to understand that there always will be advantages and disadvantages. And the point you picked out is definitely a disadvantage, actually. But if you understand that there is this disadvantage versus this advantage, it works fun.
Well, it does seem very fun to be a kind of independent game designer. And it also opens up opportunities to work with a variety of very famous studios and very famous game creators. For example, doing work with Nintendo on this new title, or working with Q Entertainment on titles like Meteos. So yeah, it seems like a great opportunity for you. And if you don't mind, I kind of want to jump into the next question. But you just recently saw the MGS4 trailer that we're showing at E3. And can you just give us a little bit of your impressions, what you thought of the trailer?
It's difficult to explain. Kind of sorrowful. Another point was, of course, Raiden. My impression was like, Raiden became like that. That was really the two things I felt when I saw that trailer.
Well, I think it's safe to say that all the games that you have designed up until now have been very colorful, with lots of colorful characters, colorful environments, lots of colorful icons. When you look at a game like Metal Gear, do you ever have that kind of feeling that you want to try something a little bit more realistic, a little bit more gritty?
それはもう思います
Yes,
ね。もうしょっちゅう
I
思います
always kind of, feel like creating different types of games, actually always. But, this is a difficult point, but I think everyone has a different role to play. I have a role of creating what I create. And the important thing is not to envy the people who create something different from yourself, but you have to think what's really appreciated by the audience. And you have the responsibility to create that. For example, people who create documentary on TV programs or kids programs, I think, not all the people who create documentary loves documentary or to watch documentary. I think these two are totally different. You have to, split yourself differently. The part where you enjoy and the part you create, it's totally different. So you have to think differently.
Okay, I see where you're coming from. That's a really good answer, actually. Well, before we close out here, is there anything you want to tell to all the English-speaking listeners out there?
そうですね。
Since
スネークが
Snake
せっかく
will be in
その場
Smash
で出るように
Brothers,
なって戦えるようになったの
I'm
で
going to be making
新しい
new
ステージ
stages
の
for
スネーク
him
の活躍にご期待くださいということで
have fun in the game. So I would like all the listeners to look out for the new Smash Brothers.
じゃあ、ありがとうございます。
ありがとうございました。
Awesome. Thank you, Mr. Saito and Ayako.
はい。
Thank you very much.
Do you have anything to say, Ayako, to listeners? This is your one chance.
どうしよう。
Oh, what am I going to say?
She pretends like she's so afraid of...
Yeah, she pretends she's shy, but she's always kicking me.
Right. You're being translating Mr. Okamura's interview for the digital graphic novel.
Right, I did actually.
You did, yeah. We have to talk in past tense. It's very, very confusing.
Yeah.
But that whole
Hopefully.
digital graphic novel world is so deep.
Yeah.
I think you're gonna do a good job.
I enjoyed
Right on.
watching it.
Good.
Yeah.
So let's wrap it up. Thank you for joining me on session 17 of the Kojima Productions Report, and hope to have you two on the show again sometime.
Yeah, we're always near you.
That's right, just 2 floors up.
Yeah, and then you come like 10 minutes before we go into the studio and say, "Oh, are you free?"
Yeah,
And,
hey, can you guys drop everything and come in and record?
It's top priority.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, we love to do, well, especially me. I love to do recordings because it's fun.
And you have a good voice for it too.
Yeah, and I know there's 2 fans that I know who listen to this.
Really?
Yeah, in UK.
Uh-huh.
So,
Who are they?
oh, these 2 guys. Should I mention these?
Oh, sure, go for it.
Hi, Steve. Hi, John. Okay, there's like 500,000 Steves and 500,000
probably.
Johns. So yeah,
You got it covered.
yeah,
Yeah, and also big thanks to Mr. Sakurai for joining me on the show.
yeah. His answers were brilliant.
Yeah, he's really well spoken.
Yeah, he's a real creator, isn't he?
Yeah.
So I'm looking out for this new game.
Yeah, it's going to be very cool. So, anyway, thanks again.
Thanks, Ryan.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.